Dear Jim, it's been a week now, me sitting down in front of a blank page waiting for words to come, like virgin snow. No footsteps to follow, no direction, no whispering voice in my head, no calling. Baptized by silence.
I was going to address this thing to Jesus at last, but then it occurred to me that as far as getting a postcard back, my chances are pretty slim there. And what would I say? The man has not been around of late. Things have changed. We've got fast food, fast cars, porn, popcorn, and public bus. We got all sorts of things. We got Hollywood, for Christ's sake.
Speaking of cinematic experience, your work has been a huge inspiration. And I do have a confession of sorts. I've grown fond of apparent lack of formulae in your films. And that is utterly satisfying to me as a student of the odd and the beautiful.
For as long as I remember, I existed as a mere possibility of an artist, a nobody, whose name does not ring a bell, let alone open doors, delirious in his gestation, yearning to be born. If not as a visionary, then at least a gifted Cyclops.
Back in high school, I used to lock myself in the bathroom to develop negatives of my subjects.
Invariably made up of family members and friends. I was mesmerized by the magic of photographic images appearing on wet paper. And much later, having transplanted myself across the planet to a warmer soil, I got hold of a half-decent DSLR
and took it to high places to hunt for breathtaking images. At least that was the idea. Less oxygen the better, I figured. Each photograph was a portal.
And I collected them for their colour, texture, and geometrical beauty. Some were portals to life, others to death.
Once, scrambling up after a lucrative angle, I found myself settling an impossibly narrow slab of rock towering above the glacier, with 200-metre drops on either side, shaking uncontrollably. It was stupidly high.
I felt apprehensive going up the way I did in the first place, and my hopes for descent on the other side were dashed with a single look. It was even worse. A vertical plunge with no grips or footholds all the way down. My brain had a core meltdown there and then.
One cannot photograph death and bring back the evidence.
It's a one-way trip. There was no way to communicate what happened. Miraculously, I was spared the consequence of my adventure and made it down in one piece, becoming an instant pro-life convert. Just as usual,
I scribbled down my inspirations into half-finished semi-factual novels, concurrently tinkering with film script ideas.
Some of these I tried to implement on zero budget with predictable outcomes, i.e. failure, while others I've dared not touch with a 10-foot pole.
To stave off creative hunger, I resorted to filming friends and strangers alike, as long as they didn't mind me filming, or didn't know I was filming them at the time.
I filmed rocks. I filmed mountains. I filmed ice caves. I filmed streams scampering across alpine wilderness and jumping over boulders.
I filmed Indians living much the same way they did 1,000 years ago, embroidering the music of creation into scarves and ponchos. I filmed homeless. I filmed addicts.
I filmed amusement parks and joyrides. I filmed musicians and dancers. I filmed posers and performers and temporarily insane people who invariably were my favorite subjects.
I filmed mad artists gone ballistic and spraying saliva at me while I kneeled down to sustain the full brunt of their delivery.
One thing I never filmed yet is actors.
Go find them, the shape-shifting things. They are an elusive, strange breed, worse than leprechauns. I should know by God, as I'm married to one. Acting up in our house is against the law. You, on the other hand, have a way with actors.
Don't know what you feed these guys, but they seem to stick around. Maybe Bill Murray, for one, has been a regular. Iggy Pop, Tom Waits, familiar and palpable entities, yet light years removed from where I sit behind my desk in the virgin snow. It could all be a parallel universe for all I know. Good old Jesus by my side and no footsteps to follow. Yours truly, Nobody.